Do you often wake up feeling tired, overwhelmed, or unsure about how to start your day? Are the challenges ahead weighing on your mind before you even step out of bed? Well, what if I told you that there's a way to shift your mindset and approach each morning with a sense of calm, focus, and resilience? In today's video, we're going to dive into the powerful Stoic morning practices that can transform how you start your day. Each morning presents us with a blank slate, an opportunity to prepare ourselves mentally for the challenges and uncertainties ahead. In the philosophy of Stoicism, the first action upon waking is not simply to spring into our day, but to engage in intentional reflection. This practice, known as premeditatio malorum, is a mental exercise where we envision potential adversities that may arise, preparing ourselves to face them with calm and resilience. Stoic reflection is rooted in the understanding that life is unpredictable. No matter how well we plan, unexpected challenges will inevitably arise. But instead of being caught off guard or overwhelmed, the Stoics teach us to mentally prepare for adversity in advance. This is not about dwelling on negative outcomes, but about equipping the mind to respond with grace and composure. You might ask, why start the day by contemplating potential problems? Wouldn't this lead to anxiety? The answer lies in the Stoic concept that events themselves are neutral. It's our perception of them that defines their emotional impact. As Epictetus famously said, "It's not what happens to you, but how you react to it that matters." When we reflect on potential difficulties in advance, we detach the emotional charge from these events. We recognize that while we may not control the external circumstances, we do have control over how we respond. The practice of premeditatio malorum serves to prepare the mind, much like how a soldier practices battle drills during times of peace. By rehearsing how we will face adversity, we make the real experience less daunting. When the actual event occurs, whether it's a stressful meeting, a confrontation, or an unexpected setback, we are ready. We are no longer surprised or unprepared. We've already met the challenge in our minds. In this way, we soften the emotional impact and allow ourselves to act rationally rather than react impulsively. One of the great Stoic philosophers, the Roman Emperor Marcus Aurelius, exemplified this practice. In his Meditations, a personal journal filled with his reflections on Stoic principles, Marcus often reminded himself of the unpredictability of life. He would start his day by preparing his mind for the people and situations he might encounter. When you wake up in the morning, tell yourself, "The people I deal with today will be meddling, ungrateful, arrogant, dishonest, jealous, and surly. They are like this because they cannot tell good from evil." This may seem like a harsh way to begin the day, but the purpose of this reflection is not to foster resentment or pessimism. Instead, it helps Marcus and us accept human nature for what it is, without being emotionally derailed by others' behaviors. We can't control how people act, but we can control how we choose to respond to them. By anticipating rudeness or selfishness from others, we prepare ourselves to respond with patience and understanding. Rather than being offended or angry, we recognize that these behaviors are a result of ignorance or lack of self-awareness. Marcus Aurelius teaches us to meet these challenges with equanimity, not allowing them to disturb our peace of mind. Stoic reflection is also about reframing difficulties as opportunities for growth. In every challenge lies a chance to practice the Stoic virtues of patience, courage, and wisdom. If we only encounter smooth sailing in life, we miss the chance to strengthen our character. As Seneca, another great Stoic philosopher, remarked, "Difficulties strengthen the mind, as labor does the body." When we reflect on potential challenges in the morning, we are not merely preparing to endure them, but to use them as tools for self-improvement. Each difficulty becomes an opportunity to demonstrate patience or courage. Each setback becomes a moment to exercise wisdom and composure. This shift in perspective allows us to face adversity, not with dread, but with a sense of purpose. Consider the example of a tough day at work. Perhaps you expect a tense conversation with a colleague or a looming deadline. Instead of allowing these events to create anxiety, the Stoic approach encourages you to see them as opportunities. How can you practice patience in that difficult conversation? How can you demonstrate perseverance in meeting that deadline? By framing challenges in this way, you take control of your experience and transform it from a source of stress into a chance for personal growth. A core tenet of Stoicism is the dichotomy of control, which teaches us to focus only on what we can control and to accept what we cannot. This principle is central to morning reflection. As you think about the day ahead, it's important to distinguish between the things that are within your power, your actions, your thoughts, your decisions, and the things that are outside of your control, other people's opinions, the weather, the outcome of certain events. As you move through your morning routine, one of the most profound Stoic practices you can adopt is the deliberate cultivation of gratitude. While reflection sets the tone for your day by preparing you to meet challenges, gratitude grounds you in the present, reminding you of the wealth that already surrounds you. In Stoic philosophy, gratitude is more than a fleeting feeling of appreciation. It is a deliberate mindset, a way to frame your experience of life. The Stoics understood that life is transient and that the things we hold dear, whether they be relationships, material possessions, or even our health, are impermanent. As a result, the Stoics emphasized the importance of appreciating what we have while we have it. The philosopher Seneca offers a powerful insight into this. True happiness is to enjoy the present, without anxious dependence upon the future. This principle of Stoic gratitude involves more than just recognizing the good in your life. It also means reframing how you see the world. Instead of focusing on what you lack or what might be better, you train yourself to look at what is already present and sufficient. As Marcus Aurelius advises, do not indulge in dreams of things you have not, but reckon up the chief of the blessings you do possess, and then thankfully remember how you would crave for them if they were not yours. This perspective helps you shift away from the mindset of scarcity, which focuses on what is missing, to one of abundance, where you recognize the richness of your current circumstances. This shift is not just about feeling good. It has a practical application in how you approach your day-to-day life. When you start your morning with gratitude, you anchor your mind in a state of contentment, which helps you navigate the inevitable ups and downs of life with greater equanimity. Gratitude, when practiced regularly, acts as a form of mental armor against the stresses and anxieties of life. By focusing on what you have rather than what you lack, you reduce the mental space for negative thoughts and feelings to take root. This is especially important in today's world, where we are constantly bombarded with messages telling us that we need more success, more possessions, more recognition to be happy. In contrast, the Stoic practice of gratitude helps you see that happiness is not found in external things, but in your attitude toward those things. By being grateful for what you already have, you are less likely to be swayed by the desire for more. As Epictetus wisely observed, he is a wise man who does not grieve for the things which he has not, but rejoices for those which he has. This shift in perspective not only makes you more content, but also more resilient. Life is unpredictable, and we will all experience loss and hardship at various points. However, when you regularly practice gratitude, you are better prepared to face these difficulties with a calm and balanced mind. You recognize that while external circumstances may change, your inner sense of gratitude can remain constant. One powerful Stoic practice that deepens your sense of gratitude is negative visualization. This exercise involves imagining the loss of the things you value most, your possessions, your health, your loved ones, and reflecting on how you would feel if they were taken from you. While this might seem counterintuitive, it serves a vital purpose. It helps you appreciate the things you have while you have them, rather than taking them for granted. Seneca often emphasized the importance of reflecting on the potential loss of life's gifts, noting that it is in contemplating their absence that we truly appreciate their presence. By regularly practicing negative visualization, you become more mindful of the impermanence of all things, and as a result, more grateful for what you have in the present moment. This practice fosters a deep sense of humility and appreciation, as you realize that everything in life is temporary and can be lost at any time. When you start your day by practicing gratitude in this way, you are reminded that the things you cherish, whether they be small comforts or significant relationships, are gifts, not guarantees. This awareness transforms your perspective, allowing you to approach your day with a sense of abundance rather than lack. You become more attuned to the simple pleasures in life, from the warmth of a morning cup of coffee to the kindness of a friend's smile. The key is to be specific and intentional in your gratitude. Don't just list things mindlessly. Take a moment to truly reflect on why you are grateful for them. Consider how your life would be different if they were not present, and allow yourself to feel a deep sense of appreciation for their existence. You might even consider keeping a gratitude journal where you write down these reflections each morning. Journaling holds a sacred place in Stoic philosophy as a tool for self-examination and growth. It's not just an act of recording daily events, but rather a reflective practice that allows us to engage deeply with our thoughts, emotions, and challenges. By clarifying what's in our minds, we prepare ourselves to face the day with purpose and insight. In the Stoic tradition, journaling is a deliberate exercise of mental discipline, one that helps us bring structure to our thoughts and live more intentionally. Journaling has its roots in the writings of some of the most prominent Stoic philosophers, including Marcus Aurelius and Seneca. Marcus Aurelius's Meditations, one of the most celebrated works in Stoic philosophy, is essentially a series of personal reflections written to himself. Each entry represents an attempt to understand his thoughts, grapple with his emotions, and reinforce Stoic principles. For Marcus, journaling was not just about recording the events of his day, but about cultivating wisdom and self-awareness. Seneca, too, used journaling as a way to reflect on his behavior and thoughts. He recommended ending each day by reviewing one's actions and reflecting on what went well and what could be improved. This regular practice of self-examination, according to Seneca, helps us grow and align our actions with our values. Each day, he wrote, I examine my entire day and go back over what I've done and said. By adopting this Stoic approach to journaling, we not only become more mindful of our behavior, but also more attuned to the areas in which we can improve. It's an ongoing process of self-improvement, one that fosters resilience and helps us live in harmony with our principles. The act of writing things down forces us to slow down and organize our thoughts. In today's fast-paced world, where our minds are often clouded by distractions and competing demands, journaling provides a moment of stillness and focus. It allows us to step back from the noise and look at our thoughts objectively. This process of externalizing our thoughts makes them easier to analyze and manage. Epictetus famously said, "You are not disturbed by events, but by your opinion about events." Journaling helps us apply this principle by giving us a space to examine our thoughts, strip away emotional reactions, and see situations for what they really are. Often, when we feel overwhelmed or anxious, writing about the issue reveals that the problem is not as insurmountable as it seemed in our mind. Journaling gives us the clarity to distinguish between what is within our control and what is not. In this way, journaling becomes a tool for managing emotions and practicing the Stoic dichotomy of control. The understanding that while we cannot control external events, we can control our thoughts, actions, and reactions. By putting our thoughts on paper, we create a clear separation between the situation and our interpretation of it, which helps us respond more rationally. Incorporating Stoic principles into your journaling practice involves focusing on key questions that help you align your thoughts and actions with your values. In the morning, your journal can serve as a roadmap for the day ahead. Spend a few minutes reflecting on what you need to accomplish, what challenges you might face, and how you plan to act in accordance with Stoic virtues like patience, wisdom, courage, and temperance. By writing down your thoughts in the morning, you give yourself a framework for the day. It's like setting a mental compass that keeps you aligned with your core values and helps you navigate challenges with resilience and wisdom. This regular self-examination is essential for growth. As the Stoics believed, we are always students of life, constantly learning from our experiences. By reflecting on your day through journaling, you create a feedback loop that helps you improve your actions and decisions over time. Stoic journaling is not just about reflecting on your thoughts. It's also a practice of applying philosophy to your daily life. One of the primary goals of Stoicism is to live in accordance with nature and virtue. Journaling helps you identify areas where your actions are aligned with these principles, as well as areas where you may have strayed. For example, if you faced a difficult situation at work where you were tempted to act out of anger or frustration, your journal gives you the space to reflect on how you handled the situation. Did you act with temperance and patience? If not, how can you respond differently next time? This process of reflection and self-correction is at the heart of Stoic philosophy. It helps you cultivate the virtues that the Stoics held in high regard: wisdom, courage, justice, and temperance. Marcus Aurelius used his journal as a way to remind himself of the virtues he aspired to live by. He constantly encouraged himself to focus on what he could control. Meditation is a core element of Stoic practice, but it differs significantly from the traditional forms of meditation many people are familiar with. Unlike Eastern practices that focus on clearing the mind, Stoic meditation involves actively engaging with your thoughts to cultivate wisdom, discipline, and a sense of tranquility. It's a practice aimed at confronting your inner world, organizing your thoughts, and preparing yourself for the day ahead. In this chapter, we will explore how meditation can help you find stillness amidst chaos, foster emotional resilience, and align your actions with your philosophical values. Stoic meditation begins with finding stillness. Before diving into the hustle and bustle of daily life, take a few moments in the morning to sit quietly, away from distractions, and reflect on your inner state. This practice allows you to disconnect from external stimuli and become more aware of your thoughts and feelings. For Marcus Aurelius, this stillness was a cornerstone of his morning routine. As he writes in Meditations, "People look for retreats for themselves, in the country, by the coast, or in the hills. But nowhere can you find a more peaceful and trouble-free retreat than in your own mind." In this space of stillness, you begin to tackle the thoughts that may weigh on you. Worries about the day ahead, lingering frustrations, or unresolved emotions. The goal is not to avoid these thoughts, but to meet them head-on. As the Stoics teach, you are not disturbed by events themselves, but by your interpretation of those events. By meditating on your thoughts and emotions, you gain the clarity to see them as they truly are, stripping away unnecessary anxiety or fear. This mental discipline is a form of strengthening your mind, much like physical exercise strengthens the body. One of the key elements of Stoic meditation is the dichotomy of control, a principle that reminds us to focus only on what we can control and to accept what we cannot. In your meditation, reflect on the things that are bothering you and ask yourself, are these within my control? If not, what is the most rational and virtuous way I can respond to them? By constantly reinforcing this framework, you develop the mental resilience to face life's uncertainties with calm and composure. Another powerful Stoic concept that can be incorporated into meditation is amor fati, or the love of fate. This is the idea that we should embrace whatever happens to us, good or bad, as necessary and even beneficial for our growth. While sitting in quiet meditation, take a few moments to reflect on the day ahead. Imagine the various outcomes, some favorable, some challenging, and remind yourself that whatever happens is part of the natural order of things. By accepting fate, you free yourself from the emotional burden of wishing things were different. You train your mind to focus on what is in front of you rather than what might have been. This mindset is beautifully captured by Epictetus, who said, "Do not seek to have events happen as you want them, but instead want them to happen as they do, and your life will go well." Visualization is another important component of Stoic meditation. Before starting your day, visualize how you want to respond to the challenges you might face. Whether it's a difficult conversation with a colleague, a frustrating commute, or an unexpected problem, mentally rehearse how you can remain calm, patient, and focused. This mental rehearsal is a powerful tool for building emotional resilience. When the actual challenge arises, you will already have practiced responding to it with virtue and wisdom, making it less likely that you will react impulsively. The Stoics also taught the practice of memento mori, or the reflection on death, as a way to remind us of the impermanence of life. While this might seem morbid, it is actually a liberating practice. By acknowledging the inevitability of death, we are reminded to live each day fully and intentionally. During your meditation, take a moment to reflect on the fact that life is finite. This reflection is not meant to induce fear, but rather to encourage you to live in alignment with your values. As Marcus Aurelius said, "You could leave life right now. Let that determine what you do and say and think." This thought can help you prioritize what truly matters and let go of petty concerns or distractions. Meditation also serves as a form of mental preparation for the Stoic virtues you wish to embody throughout the day. The Stoics believe that a virtuous life is the path to true happiness, and meditation can help you align your actions with these virtues. Whether it is courage in the face of fear, temperance in the face of indulgence, or justice in dealing with others, meditation allows you to reflect on how you can practice these virtues in your daily interactions. Negative visualization, or praemeditatio malorum, is one of the most profound and impactful practices in Stoic philosophy. It involves imagining the potential losses, challenges, and adversities that could occur in your life, not to create anxiety, but to build resilience and foster appreciation for what you have. By reflecting on what could go wrong, you prepare yourself mentally and emotionally for these possibilities, allowing you to handle them with greater composure and acceptance if they do occur. This practice is central to Stoic thought, as it encourages us to confront the reality that much of life is beyond our control and that impermanence is a fundamental aspect of existence. The Stoics believed that by regularly engaging in negative visualization, we could cultivate a deep sense of gratitude for the things we currently possess while simultaneously reducing our attachment to them. At first glance, negative visualization may seem like a morbid or pessimistic exercise. After all, why would we want to focus on the potential loss of things we value, our health, loved ones, or possessions? However, the Stoics understood that most of our suffering does not come from the events themselves, but from our reaction to them. As Epictetus famously said, "Men are disturbed not by things, but by the views which they take of them." Negative visualization helps us mentally rehearse the experience of loss so that when difficulties arise, we are not caught off guard. By imagining the worst, we become less vulnerable to emotional upheaval when things don't go as planned. Instead, we are able to face challenges with equanimity and grace. In this way, negative visualization is not about expecting or inviting misfortune, but about mentally preparing ourselves for its inevitability. The key to negative visualization lies in its ability to remind us of the impermanence of all things. The Stoics believed that everything in life is fleeting: our possessions, our relationships, even our own lives. By confronting this reality, we learn to appreciate what we have in the present moment without becoming overly attached to it. As Seneca wrote, "We are wrong to despair of the things that will return to nothing. Whatever begins also ends." This practice of acknowledging the temporary nature of life's blessings can help us develop a more balanced and contented mindset. We learn to enjoy what we have while we have it, without taking it for granted, and without fearing its loss. This understanding brings a sense of peace as we accept that nothing lasts forever and that loss is a natural part of life. Negative visualization also helps us break free from the constant cycle of desire and dissatisfaction that often characterizes modern life. In a world where we are constantly bombarded with messages telling us that we need more success, more wealth, more recognition, the Stoic practice of imagining loss reminds us that happiness is not found in accumulating things, but in appreciating what we already have. Epictetus advised, "He is a wise man who does not grieve for the things which he has not, but rejoices for those which he has." By visualizing the absence of the things we currently possess, we shift our focus away from what we lack and toward the abundance that already exists in our lives. This shift in perspective helps us cultivate a sense of gratitude and contentment, allowing us to live more fully in the present moment. Moreover, negative visualization is a powerful tool for reducing fear and anxiety. Often we fear the unknown or the possibility of losing what we hold dear, and this fear can prevent us from living fully. However, when we engage in negative visualization, we confront our fears head-on. We imagine the worst-case scenarios and mentally rehearse how we would cope with them. This exercise allows us to strip away the emotional intensity associated with these fears and view them more rationally. By regularly practicing negative visualization, we train ourselves to face life's uncertainties with courage and calm. As Marcus Aurelius wrote, "It is not death that a man should fear, but he should fear never beginning to live." Through negative visualization, we learn that even in the face of loss, we can continue to live a meaningful and virtuous life. One of the most important benefits of negative visualization is the development of emotional resilience. Life is full of unexpected challenges and setbacks, and it is easy to become overwhelmed by them if we are not mentally prepared. Negative visualization equips us with the psychological tools to handle adversity with grace. When we have already imagined the loss of a job, the end of a relationship, or the decline of our health, we are less likely to be emotionally devastated when such events occur. Instead, we are able to accept them as part of the natural flow of life. Living intentionally is a central tenet of Stoicism, and one of the most effective ways to cultivate this mindset is through the use of daily affirmations. Stoic affirmations are not about repeating vague or overly positive statements, but instead serve as deliberate, focused reminders of the core values and principles you wish to embody throughout the day. By regularly engaging with these affirmations, you reinforce your commitment to living in accordance with Stoic virtues, such as wisdom, courage, temperance, and justice. This practice helps you maintain a sense of purpose and clarity, guiding your actions and responses to life's inevitable challenges. Each morning, as part of your routine, you can set aside a few moments to reflect on the kind of person you want to be and the principles you want to uphold. The power of Stoic affirmations lies in their simplicity and their grounding in reality. Unlike affirmations that focus on wishful thinking or denying life's difficulties, Stoic affirmations encourage us to accept and embrace the world as it is, while committing to act with virtue and integrity. A typical Stoic affirmation might be, "Today, I will focus on what is within my control." This statement serves as a reminder to center your attention on your own thoughts, actions, and responses, rather than getting caught up in external events or other people's behavior, things you ultimately have no control over. Marcus Aurelius frequently emphasized this point in Meditations, where he wrote, "You have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this, and you will find strength." By repeating this affirmation each day, you solidify your understanding that your peace of mind is rooted in how you choose to interpret and respond to situations, not in changing the circumstances themselves. Another common Stoic affirmation is, "I will meet challenges with courage and patience." This affirmation prepares you to face the day's inevitable difficulties with resilience and composure. The Stoics recognized that life is full of obstacles, but they believed that these obstacles were not inherently negative. Instead, they are opportunities to practice virtue. Seneca once wrote, "Difficulties strengthen the mind, as labor does the body." By affirming your intention to meet challenges with courage, you shift your perspective from seeing these challenges as setbacks to viewing them as opportunities for growth. Each time you face a difficult situation, whether it's a conflict at work, a personal disappointment, or an unforeseen obstacle, you can remind yourself of this affirmation and choose to act with courage rather than frustration or defeat. Another valuable affirmation rooted in Stoic thought is, "I will focus only on what is necessary." In our modern world, it's easy to become overwhelmed by distractions, tasks, and desires that pull us in multiple directions. This affirmation serves as a mental filter, helping you prioritize what truly matters. The Stoics believed in living a life of simplicity and purpose, where each action is aligned with one's higher goals and values. As Epictetus advised, first say to yourself what you would be, and then do what you have to do. By affirming your commitment to focus on the essential, you free yourself from the noise and clutter that often clouds your judgment, allowing you to act with greater clarity and intention throughout the day. Stoic affirmations are also valuable tools for developing compassion and understanding toward others. One powerful affirmation in this regard is, "Today, I will tolerate and, where possible, help difficult or rude people, as I don't know the battles they are fighting." Marcus Aurelius famously reflected on the fact that every person we encounter is fighting their own internal battles, which may lead them to act in ways that seem irrational or unkind. By affirming your intention to meet others with patience and empathy, you cultivate a more forgiving and compassionate attitude. This practice helps you maintain your emotional equilibrium, even in the face of difficult interactions, because you are choosing to respond with understanding rather than reacting out of anger or frustration. An equally important Stoic affirmation to incorporate into your routine is, "Today, I will be present with others, not distracted." In a world dominated by constant stimulation, social media, emails, and the fast pace of modern life, it can be easy to become distracted and lose sight of what truly matters: the relationships and interactions we have with others. By affirming your intention to be present, you commit to giving your full attention to the people around you, whether it's a family member, a friend, or a colleague. This practice helps deepen your connections with others and fosters a sense of mindfulness that is central to Stoic living. I hope these Stoic practices inspire you to start your mornings with clarity, purpose, and resilience. If you found this video helpful, please give it a like and consider subscribing to the channel for more Stoic insights and practical tips. Don't forget to check out some of my other videos where we explore more ways to live a wiser, calmer life. Remember, as the Stoics say, the obstacle is the way. Until next time, stay grounded and focused on what truly matters.